office space in a safe, secure and scenic location. With easy access, convenient location, free car parking and free Wi-Fi, hiring an office at the Al Hikmah Center can allow your business to grow. For more details and special offers, call 01924 500 555 or email info@imws.org.uk. Get physical with great rates at the Al Hikmah Sports Hall in Batley. You can book a weekday daytime slot for just £18 per hour. Call 01924 500 555. Evening or weekend slots for just £38 per hour. And special discounted weekend slots available too. Call 07968 222 886. The Al Hikmah Sports Hall, the perfect place to get back in shape. It is related by Sayyidina Anas radiallahu anhu that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when a man marries, he has completed half of his religion, so let him fear Allah regarding the remaining half. The Al Hikmah Nikah service launched by the IMWS aims to introduce prospective marriage partners to help fulfill this important aspect of faith. The service is open to unmarried Muslims who are permanent residents of the UK. For more information, visit our website at www.imws.org.uk. Radio IMWS.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are listening to Radio IMWS, broadcasting live from the Al Hikmah Center. I am Safeeyah and this is Safeeyah's Hour. Before I get started, the Al Hikmah Center are collecting zakat, sadaqah and lillah for Syria. You can give your donations at the Al Hikmah Center, 28 Track Road, Batley, or at your local IMWS affiliate masjid. Also, we are collecting zakat, lillah and sadaqah for South Gujarat project. Again, make your donations at the Al Hikmah Center or any IMWS affiliate masjid or online at www.imws.org.uk. Today I have a guest with me. Her name is Surraya Patel. She is a health and fitness instructor. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Now, Surraya will be talking about health and fitness during Ramadan. So over to you.
Oh God, well, it's really important now. We've got long hours, got up to 18 hours. And first of all, we need to get our nutrition right. Our bodies need about 40 different nutrients a day. So it's really important that ideally in those 2 meals, technically are what we're eating, we get a variety of food and supply our body with exactly what we need in them 2 meals. So hopefully at the end of this conversation, you'll be able to get some idea of what you should be feeding yourselves, your families, people that are dependent on you, those meals, and not just that, but taking care of yourself fitness-wise as well.
Yep. If you have any questions for Surraya, do text or WhatsApp us on 07460809218, or you can ring the studio hotline on 01924 505 629. That's 01924 505 629. Now, Surraya, what things should we be eating during Ramzan?
So, definitely not very oily food. No spicy food for that matter. We should stay away. First of all, our typical South Asian diet, unfortunately, Ramzan is not catered for Ramzan. So try and avoid fried food. Try and avoid eating very spicy food and refined carbohydrates like white flour. If you're going to make chapatis, make them with brown flour for a start. I'll start off with like the kind of things the Prophet's times and the Quran try to encourage. So things like milk, dates, lamb, oats. From the Quran, they say things like fruit, veg, olives, onions, cucumbers, figs, dates, grapes, and pulses. So all these foods, they're recommended in Islam, and they all have different nutrients. For example, dates. When you open your fast, it's ideal to have a glass of milk or a milk-based product, I don't know, like a Greek yogurt and khajur. Those dates are full of potassium, magnesium, just enough sugar and carbohydrates your body needs for your pancreas to start releasing insulin and start actually getting your blood sugar up to a safe level again. After that, go for your namaz, come back and have a highly nutritious food, a meal, so balanced with all the 5 major food groups: carbohydrates, protein, fat, and loads of vitamins and minerals. Get them in that meal. So Islam teaches us everything we need to do. It's just a matter of following it. So try, when it comes to grains, lentils, barley, wheat, oats, beans, whole grain, sweet potato, bran, all those things, try and get them into your diet, whether it's at iftari or sehri.
Yeah. I've just wrote an article for this month's An-Nisa. I think it should have come out now. I've talked about how when you are fasting, with them being so long, carbohydrates are important because your body uses sugar first, glucose as your energy. Then once that runs out, it uses your fat. Now, after it's got to your fat, it will go for your protein, and that is when things get dangerous. So I'd say pasta.
Yeah, but if it's whole grain, But again, pasta digests in about 4 hours.
Right.
So if you're doing sehri at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock it's gone.
Right.
So think about more whole meal ones. So if you're going to eat white, I don't know, like potatoes, keep the skin on them. They keep them. So we look at something called glycemic index. Try and keep them to the low end of the glycemic index. So try and think bran. So when it comes to sehri time, think about like all bran, Weetabix, oats, things like that. And if you mix them with a protein, the GI gets even lower. So that's combining your foods carefully. So like beans on toast, as long as it's a whole grain toast, actually the proteins in the bread mixed with the proteins in the beans make them a complete protein. And they actually take longer to digest. But you're absolutely right. It takes about 8 hours for everything to empty into our guts. So for your small intestine to start absorbing the nutrients out. And then after that, you start looking for other places to get your energy from. So primarily, glucose is digested from your liver and your muscles. After that, you turn to your fat stores. And then after that, it's protein. The better combination of food you can have at sehri time, the longer you will prolong that process. And not just that, Ramzan's a perfect opportunity to get rid of the excess fat stores that you've got, because that fat also stores toxins in it. That's why the first few fasts, sometimes you get like day 2, day 3, you start feeling a bit sluggish and start getting a bit hard. That's because your fat is breaking down, and with it, those toxins are being eliminated. So you're just being exposed to them. After that, you find that actually, alhamdulillah, the fasts are going all right.
Yeah, and you get energized after.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of an endorphin rush. And that's because good hormones are being released into your body. It's thanking you. Yeah. So, and it's inevitable some protein will be used up during Ramzan, especially as we go further into it, but you can minimize it. So try and eat healthy fats, try and eat lots of protein, lots of carbohydrates, but avoid all the, I know it's traditional for us to have loads of samosas and kebabs and fry-ups.
But if you want samosas, oven them.
Yeah. Or use an air fryer. Yeah, of course you can. But again, in moderation. That's the key, isn't it? It's not about overindulgence. You've practiced patience all day, and don't ruin it at the end. Reward yourself in a healthy manner.
Yeah. I find fruit when I was fasting with my brother. I used to have like samosas and fried stuff at my grandma's, but then with my brother, he would like cut up loads of fruit, and I'd be like, is that all we're eating? He'll be like, you need to eat fruit, and it's actually really refreshing.
Yeah, it
is. And it makes you feel really good after as well.
Not just that, it's rehydrating as well. You don't realize how much water you need until that point, until you've actually had some fruit, and you just think, wow, I feel so satisfied right now. And all the vitamins, all the minerals, they're all in there.
Yeah. Right, we'll just go for a short break. Remember, if you have any questions for Surraya, do WhatsApp and text us on 07460809218. That's 07460809218. Or ring the studio hotline on 01924 505 629. We will be back in a moment.
Broadcasting from the Al Hikmah Centre in Batley, West Yorkshire, you're listening to Radio IMWS. Are you running a business from home and need to move into an office, a place where you can confidently meet your clients, or maybe looking to relocate? The Al Hikmah Centre provides office space in a safe, secure and scenic location. With easy access, convenient location, free car parking and free Wi-Fi, hiring an office at the Al Hikmah Centre can allow your business to grow. For more details and special offers, call 01924 500 555 or email info@imws.org.uk. Get physical with great rates at the Al Hikmah Sports Hall in Batley. You can book a weekday daytime slot for just £18 per hour. Call 01924 500 555. Evening or weekend slots for just £38 per hour. And special discounted weekend slots available too. Call 07968 222 886. The Al Hikmah Sports Hall, the perfect place to get back in shape. It is related by Sayyidina Anas radiallahu anhu that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when a man marries, he has completed half of his religion, so let him fear Allah regarding the remaining half. The Al Hikmah Nikah service launched by the IMWS aims to introduce prospective marriage partners to help fulfill this important aspect of faith. The service is open to unmarried Muslims who are permanent residents of the UK. For more information, visit our website at www.imws.org.uk. Radio IMWS.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. You are listening to Safeeyah's Hour, broadcasting live from the Al Hikmah Centre. Today I have with me a health and fitness instructor, Surraya Patel. Now she was talking about healthy foods in Ramzan to avoid having our traditional fried samosas. Have them, but in moderation. So you're a teacher.
Yeah.
You teach secondary school in science.
Yeah.
So how do you fit in your fitness as well?
I think my fitness is my therapy. It's cheaper than therapy anyway. But it really helps me get a work-life balance, if I'm honest. If school never stays at school, my day job will never stay. I always have to do something at home. But having that fitness aspect in my life helps me cut off from it and actually helps me. It actually just gives me a bit of a boost. And all in all, I think it makes me really efficient in my work because I know I will just get it done when and where I can to ensure that I can have some aspect of life to myself and give to others as well. So it also complements each other because I teach science, I teach fitness, and they all go hand in hand. So it is really useful. Even if I wasn't teaching fitness, I'd be doing my own fitness anyway. So they complement each other really well and help me keep fit and feel good.
Right. What exercises should we be doing during Ramadan?
In Ramzan, you've got to be really careful, obviously. If you're very active on a day-to-day basis prior to Ramzan, then I would advise that you carry on something. If you can't do it after iftari, which we don't have a lot of time, and it's really hard to exercise on a full stomach, try and do something close to iftari, like before, so late evening, just a little bit, and it'll just help you get that little bit of a boost as well, re-energize you. Talked about endorphins before. Exercise releases loads of endorphins, and I normally train around 6 o'clock. That's just my time, and I'll still do that in Ramzan. Not as heavy as I normally do, but moderately to what I know my body can handle. And I'll listen to my body. If I need to stop, I'll stop. Moderation is key. Obviously, listen to yourself. Don't over dehydrate yourself, and don't go to an extent where you have to break a fast, obviously, and carry on with that. And as Ramzan progresses, you realize you're getting more and more used to it, and you can push yourself a bit more, and afterwards you just start nothing. So if you're more like a strength-based exerciser, if you like to do more weights and things like that, if you can't get to the gym during the day, or you can't do anything during the day at home, just do a few push-ups after iftari or after tarawih, and just do a few sit-ups. Just give yourself a challenge. I don't know, I'm going to do 50 a night, or even just walking.
Mhm.
If you find yourself free after Zohar or whatever, just go out for a nice walk in fresh air. You'll be surprised at how much that re-energizes you. You don't just need food for energy. You need some sort of physical activity to get that metabolism going, to release some good hormones and feel good about yourself. Yeah.
What do you think puts people off from exercising during Ramzan without them even trying?
I think it's a mental thing. I think they have this huge mental barrier. You can't do anything. You must sleep all day. And that's not the point in it. In Ramzan, you're supposed to carry on doing as many of your normal activities as you can, just minus the water, and just do a bit more ibadah. And everything you do in Ramzan has a massive reward. And taking care of your health is a massive thing. Your body's borrowed. It's given to you on trust. And the Almighty says, Allah says, look after it. I'm entrusting that on you. And that is a massive ask for someone, isn't it? It's on loan. Look after it. Take care of it. Not just what you put in it, but what you do to it as well.
Yeah, I think Ramzan is also about like appreciating everything we have. And if you're at home just sleeping, or I know it's warm outside and it's going to get warmer, but if you're inside and you just sat there and, sleeping and just lazing around, you've got nothing to actually appreciate besides luxury.
Yeah. And it's like the Prophet, he went to war whilst he was starving. He had to tie stones to his stomach to make sure, to alleviate some of that the hunger pangs. That should surely, that's the closest we're going to feel to that. And we should really appreciate and really just think, actually, there's people that have no choice but to feel the way we do. And what is ours? A few hours?
There's people out there who have no food or water, well, not even clean water, and they're working like the kids as well, and they're having to carry gallons of water on their backs in hunger, in hot weather, hotter than what Britain gets.
Definitely.
And, I just advise everybody to exercise and get outside as well.
Just listen to yourself as well. If you feel like you're gonna,
if you think you're gonna pass out, then don't.
That's the one.
Right. What physical activities besides walking do you think we should be doing?
It just depends. Everybody's different. Some people like more relaxation exercises. Personally, for me, I like a variety. I try and get as many different types of exercises as I can. So my weekly routine, I teach lots of classes. I teach insanity, I teach spinning, I teach body combat, body pump. So for me, I have that variety in my workouts. But some people just like stretching, yoga, Pilates. Something is better than nothing.
I've just started yoga and I love it. It's like I'm working out, but I'm relaxing at the same time, and I'm just stretching everything. And I felt like I did it yesterday for the first time, yoga. And this morning I could feel it in my back, like stretching all the muscles. But I felt really good after. It was a half an hour session. And
it doesn't feel like a workout until the next day or the day after.
Yeah, when you feel it.
I did use my muscles.
But then, like, you can really stretch and bend your body, and it feels great. So yoga is something I would recommend for women as well at home. Just a few stretches, just get onto YouTube and there'll be classes on there.
It is really important to take care of not just your cardiovascular system, but also your muscular system as well. Everyone likes to look good. Everyone likes to look toned and leaned, but think about your heart and lungs as well. Get the blood pumping. So go for walks, turn them walks into like power walks. Eventually you progress, don't you? And that's what it's all about. It's like seeing how far you can push yourself.
I mean, jogging on the spot as well.
Yeah, of course you can. Do star jumps on the spot. You can run up and down the stairs. You can do all sorts at home.
I wouldn't run up and down the stairs. I have this thing of falling down the stairs. So I think I'd stay on jogging on the spot. Right, we're going to go for another quick break. If you have any questions about health, fitness or diet, do WhatsApp and text us on 07460809218. We will be back in a moment.
Broadcasting from the Al Hikmah Centre in Batley, West Yorkshire, you're listening to Radio IMWS. Are you running a business from home and need to move into an office, a place where you can confidently meet your clients, or maybe looking to relocate? The Al Hikmah Centre provides office space in a safe, secure and scenic location. With easy access, convenient location, free car parking and free Wi-Fi, hiring an office at the Al Hikmah Centre can allow your business to grow. For more details and special offers, call 01924 500 555 or email info@imws.org.uk. Get physical with great rates at the Al Hikmah Sports Hall in Batley. You can book a weekday daytime slot for just £18 per hour. Call 01924 500 555. Evening or weekend slots for just £38 per hour. And special discounted weekend slots available too. Call 07968 222 886. The Al Hikmah Sports Hall, the perfect place to get back in shape. It is related by Sayyidina Anas radiallahu anhu that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when a man marries, he has completed half of his religion, so let him fear Allah regarding the remaining half. The Al Hikmah Nikah service launched by the IMWS aims to introduce prospective marriage partners to help fulfill this important aspect of faith. The service is open to unmarried Muslims who are permanent residents of the UK. For more information, visit our website at www.imws.org.uk. Radio IMWS.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are listening to Safeeyah's Hour, broadcasting live from the Al Hikmah Centre. I have with me Surraya, a health and fitness instructor and also a teacher by day. If you have any questions for her, do WhatsApp and text us on 07460809218, or you can ring the studio hotline on 01924 505 629. Now, Surraya, what do you cook with? What do you recommend people should start cooking with for our traditional dishes?
For our traditional dishes like masalas and stuff, we're so used to using like vegetable oils or oils that come on offer, whatever they are. But I think we need to be more cautious now and a bit more aware. We're now becoming like the second and third generation, some of our fourth generation here now. And we're more educated and more aware of the health benefits here. I think the South Asian diet is very catered towards a hot climate. Unfortunately, as much as it saddens me to say it, we don't have it here, and we need to be a bit more careful.
Lucky. Yeah. Like 2 days of summer in a year.
We might get a heat wave, but it'll happen in Ramzan.
Yeah, it will.
But it's definitely, we definitely need to be more aware and make more educated choices, really. And the most basis of recipes come down to the oil, don't they? You fry your onions, or you put your oil and tomatoes together. And the oil I would recommend for cooking is coconut oil. As it looks like a solid when it's in the jar. The moment you scoop it out, it starts to soften.
Do you know, talking about coconut oil, my brother, he, believe it or not, cooks. And I went to my mum's to cook and I said, I need some oil. And he pulled out coconut oil and I was looking at it thinking, but that's hard.
Yeah.
But you only need a little bit and then it just melts, and it was actually brilliant to cooking. For the first time I used coconut oil.
Yeah, the consistency in your food, everything is massively improved with it. And not just that, it's full of healthy fats, and those fats help you reduce the fats that's within your arteries, so it actually helps you lower your cholesterol, and it's amazing for you. You don't need buckets of it. it comes in jars and everything. That's not enough to get me through Ramzan. But if you've got an air fryer, you only need a
But
tablespoon.
I think with especially the older generation, they like to see the oil in their food. Like if you can't see oil at the top of the food, you've not cooked right. And that is the problem.
Yeah.
But these people do have a lot of health problems.
Yeah, they do.
And it's not just going to affect you in Ramadan, it's all the time.
Yeah.
High blood cholesterol levels,
definitely.
blood pressure.
Yeah.
So
But that's it though, isn't it? Health is the key to happiness. And I've written this down somewhere. It says health is the key to happiness, and what we consume directly affects our health. You are what you eat at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right, because we've had guests from India come to our house, and my mum will always be really conscious, saying, if they can't see the oil in the food, they're not gonna think it's of a good standard.
So it's not just me that's heard that.
No, my mum said it a few times, and apparently people from India, they like to see the oil. It's a sign of, I don't know, a sign of good food, sign of good living. I'm not sure what it is, but to me, it's just a heart attack on a plate.
Yeah, it is. And I just hate the way it feels on your hands as well, that grease. And that's what you're putting inside your body. Do you really want to make your insides greasy and slimy? Oh.
But not just that. It's like, that's coconut oil to cook with. That's great. But we need to start adding things into our diet as well. Like avocados. They're amazingly good for you. They're healthy fats again. Also things like nuts. I don't mean go crazy with them. A handful is enough. But these are healthy fats, and these are fats that actually help combat the fat that's within you. So your visceral fat, the fat that's lying in your arteries, and they actually give you good fats. They help you stay energized for longer. Like you said earlier, like once you've consumed all the glucose in your body, you start burning fat. Get healthy fat into your system. That healthy fat is not just going to look after your overall health, it's going to give you energy, and the energy you're going to feel good about.
Yeah.
Could
you give us an example on how to use avocado? Like I've tried using it before. I wanted to, when my daughter when I started feeding her foods, I tried avocado. She didn't like it, and I didn't like it. But do you have any?
Yeah. So like for breakfast, I used to have like an avocado, cut it in half. I actually break 2 eggs into them.
Right.
And bake them.
Okay.
Just sprinkle them with a bit of pepper, a bit of salt, and just bake them, and they taste amazing. Another thing to do is like guacamole style. So chop some tomatoes up, mash some avocados, some red onion, fresh lime juice or lemon juice, and just give it a good mix. And if you want, just add a tablespoon of Greek yogurt in there, and it gives you a really good guacamole. It's all healthy. And you can use that as a dip. You can use it as a side. It just tastes amazing. Like that with a jacket potato or a sweet potato and whatever filling of your choice, like chicken or tuna, whatever it is, all of that together it is really tasty, and it is a nutritious meal.
You can't make a curry from it, can you?
No.
I just came across my head. I was like, if there's listeners listening today who only like curries, they'll be like, if you can't make a curry, it's no good.
You could mix it up to give you like a pickly.
A pickle.
Yeah. That's probably the best thing to do with it.
Yeah. Just trying to think. There's a lot of people out there that won't eat anything besides curry.
I know. In that case, just what I said, like cook with a coconut oil, a good healthy oil or virgin olive oil. Fry your tomatoes in that, add your gyro, add your tomatoes, do whatever masala it is that you're doing from that. That is a healthy curry.
And cut down on the chilies.
Yeah. I mean, a small amount of chili is good for you.
Yeah, but too much.
Yeah. Some people blow the top off with it, don't they?
It's like you feel the steam coming out of your ears.
But that's what, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but in Ramzan, especially, like after you've had even if it's for iftari or seri, mainly after iftari, when you've eaten really spicy and fried food, your tarawih is not that easy. And that's because you feel as though you're getting loads of reflux or indigestion or whatever it is. And that's because of what you're eating.
Yeah.
And you've got to be really careful. Keep it simple. That's my motto. Just keep it simple, keep it nutritious, and just enjoy it.
Yeah. Right. Anything else that you'd like to add?
So I can give you like a typical routine of
Yeah.
what to eat and what during Ramzan. So I can give you like my routine if I can fully remember it from last Ramzan. So I'd probably get for iftar so just before Maghrib, I will have a glass full of water, khajur, and either a protein shake or Greek yogurt. I prefer yogurt, to be honest. It's just a bit tastier and filling. After that, go pray my namaz, and you feel satisfied after that. And it's like you just want to feast at that point. I know what you think, but once you've had that glass of water, you realize actually sabr. Yeah, go pray namaz, come back. You feel like you've had something to eat already. You feel like you do a normal day. After that, I will have a proper meal. So like a chicken masala, whatever it is, not as spicy, cooked with coconut oil, and a brown or wholemeal chapati. Go pray tarawih, have a fruit. Oh yeah, fruit after that as well. So loads of fruit, things that are refreshing. Have them there on the table ready, so you're not tempted to go for cakes and biscuits. I'm not saying don't have cups of tea. Have tea if you want tea. If you are going to have biscuits and cakes, just in moderation. Don't overindulge in them. Pray tarawih, and then after tarawih, I'd always have something small, like a snack. I don't know, a granola bar or something I know is going to kickstart my metabolism. Or I'd even have a handful of nuts. Try and catch a nap. And then for sehri is my biggest meal. You got to remember that sehri is sunnah muqqada. It's quite an important sunnah, and loads of people decide they want to miss it because iftari was enough, and it's not enough. Even if you get up and have a glass of water, but just remember, breakfast is the most important part of the day.
Yeah,
and that's it for us. So I'd probably have. What I tend to do is I make oats, but I make overnight oats. So I make my porridge, all my oats. I soak them in almond milk, a few chai seeds, and some pumpkin seeds. And you can get a breakfast mix from Holland and Barrett, which is what I normally use. It's got linseed seeds or flax seeds, sunflower seeds, all sorts of really nutritious seeds in there. I put a couple of tablespoons of that in it. Let it soak. You don't have to let it soak. You can put it in the microwave if you want. And then with that, I'll have a nice yogurt. So coconut yogurt is my favorite at the moment. So I just mix it up with that, a few berries, fruit, loads of fruit on top, have a big bowl of that. And then after that, I'd probably have like rivitas or rice cakes or something with cottage cheese on, and then avocado. So that's my breakfast, and there's my morning snack, basically. I think of it like that. In Ramzan, you should never cut down on what you eat. If anything, add a little bit extra.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be my sehri. And then, or if I'm feeling up to it, I'd probably get some wholemeal bread and make like a sandwich or something that I know is going to keep me going, like as sometimes I have eggs. So you've got loads of things to choose from. My kind of principle of any meal in Ramzan is there an element of fat in it? Is there an element of carbohydrate and protein in it? Or every snack or every meal has to have all three in there. And that's really important. So I'm not selling products or anything like that. But in your cupboard, keep nuts, keep mixed seeds, yogurts. They're really nutritious. Greek yogurt especially.
I think Greek yogurt tastes better as well.
Yeah. And if you find it boring, then you can get these like sugar-free syrups, or I don't know if you've got protein powders, which I know a lot of women in this area are now like really on the fitness buzz of it.
Yeah.
And actually having a tablespoon or a teaspoon of protein powder, chocolate flavor is my favorite. If you put that in cottage cheese and just mix it up, or in yogurt, it tastes like pudding. It tastes like chocolate mousse. Have that. Be creative with your food. If you're not going to like it, you're not going to make it again. But if you like it, or even a little bit of honey in your yogurt, it tastes fantastic.
Yes, I do that. Like, if I've got plain yogurt, I'll put dates in with honey.
Yeah.
And it just tastes really nice.
Dates are amazing, especially in Ramzan. They're so nutritious. I mean, the highest deficiency in the UK is magnesium. And we don't even know it because we don't measure it really, do we? Dates have magnesium in them. They have potassium in them. That's going to help your muscles contract and relax. They've got a really good amount of carbohydrate, sugar in there, everything your body needs, especially for your glucose spike and to get the insulin back into your system.
And people from Middle Eastern countries who have a lot of date in their diet, they actually have lower health problems like cholesterol, cancer, all these major things that we have here in the UK. It's like
even olives,
nothing in Middle Eastern countries.
I mean, as soon as you said Middle Eastern, I thought, even olives are a sunnah, but they're really, really nutritious as well. So if really think about getting a variety in, especially when it comes to fruit and vegetables. Don't just stick to the same thing every day. Get a variety in. Make your food colourful. Make it appealing.
How would you, for parents today listening, how can they encourage their kids to eat healthy during Ramzan? Because we all know what kids are like. You tell them to eat fruit, they won't eat fruit. Especially at Sahri time, you tell them to have something healthy, they just want a pot noodle. Or I was like that. My grandma would be like, have cereal or have, drink milk. And I'd be like, oh, I'm just going to have a pot noodle.
I bet you were sluggish for the rest of the day.
Oh, yeah. And when back then I was like, fasting was quite short.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, that's like my sister. My sister wouldn't listen, but now she does listen, and she find what your kids enjoy. If they don't like eating full fruit and vegetables at that point in the morning, don't force it down them. Turn it into a smoothie. Turn it into something that, they will like it, and slowly, like, give them small portions to start with and build it up from there. Not just that, but ask them how they feel.
Yeah.
Remind them, and then it's like, so, like, my mum, she's like really healthy, and she's always encouraged us to do the same. I think that's why we've turned out the way we have. And she'd always say, like, oh, that was because you had melon last night. You're still feeling really good, but that's because you ate this and it's making you feel good. She'd always emphasize on what good things we ate and why we feel the way we feel, and remind your child of that. Like, is that what you ate? How good do you feel? Emphasize the benefits and educate our children.
Yeah,
that's what our responsibility is at the end of the day. Educate them, tell them what's good for them, what's not good for them, and then at the end of the day, they can do what they do and they'll learn. We learn from our mistakes as well.
I did.
Yeah, well, so did I, and so did I. That's the thing, though, isn't it? We've got to. Sometimes it's so hard, especially as someone who's the person that they're depending on, like you say for your like daughter or whatever. You always feel this responsibility. Oh, it's my fault she's not eating it. Oh, it's my fault. Maybe I should have. We're all a bit hard on ourselves, really. You got to be kind to yourself, right? You've done what you can do. Leave it in their hands and trust they will listen eventually. They've just got to learn the lesson themselves. We've learned a lot of things the hard way ourselves. Let them have the same process. Not everything can come that easy to them, can it?
Well, I'm quite lucky. My daughter's only 2. So if I refer to apples or fruit as treats or sweet, she'll eat it thinking it's actually a sweet.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if that will last very long when she starts understanding a little bit more.
No, it's good. It's like, not just that. If they don't want fruit, think of other ways of giving it to them, like apples, for example. If she really didn't like apples, put a little bit of peanut butter on it.
She loves apples now, though. That's like her favourite fruit, apple.
Yeah. But that's it, though. She loves it. But if there's a child that doesn't love it, break it up into small pieces, put in a yogurt, dress it up with a bit of honey and disguise it. And eventually they'll really like it. It's like broccoli was something that I didn't really like at one point. But then I started experimenting. I thought, I'm gonna find a way of liking it. So I boiled it with cauliflower and I turned it into mash, and it tasted amazing, and it was so sweet, and it felt really good to eat as well, like the consistency of mashed potato it had. And I was like, why didn't I do this before?
I love broccoli.
Yeah,
that's my favourite.
I love broccoli now.
And sprouts. And when I say sprouts to people, they're like, ooh.
I love sprouts.
I got my daughter eating them as well when she first started eating solids. She loved them.
Yeah. It's great.
I was going to ask something, but I forgot. Yeah, I think get your kids involved when you're making food
Yeah.
for
Definitely.
iftari. What do you think of like milkshakes, smoothies, like ice cream with milk and fruits in? Do you think that's
To us, if you can replace the ice cream with yogurts or something, it'd probably be better. Like, you can make really nice smoothies with natural yogurt, fresh fruit. Probably try and replace it with that rather than the cream fat from the ice cream. You can get frozen yogurts, sorbets, stuff like that. They're probably a better alternative.
Right.
So make the milkshakes with them. They would enjoy them. They wouldn't tell the difference, I don't think.
Yeah, I think when kids are involved in making food,
Oh, yeah.
they can't wait to try
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, get your children involved as well.
Yeah.
We're just going to go for a quick break and we will be back in a moment. Do remember, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask Surraya, do WhatsApp and text us on 07460809218. We'll be back in a moment.
Broadcasting from the Al Hikmah Centre in Batley, West Yorkshire, you're listening to Radio IMWS. Are you running a business from home and need to move into an office, a place where you can confidently meet your clients, or maybe looking to relocate? The Al Hikmah Centre provides office space in a safe, secure and scenic location. With easy access, convenient location, free car parking and free Wi-Fi, hiring an office at the Al Hikmah Centre can allow your business to grow. For more details and special offers, call 01924 500 555 or email info@imws.org.uk. Get physical with great rates at the Al Hikmah Sports Hall in Batley. You can book a weekday daytime slot for just £18 per hour. Call 01924 500 555. Evening or weekend slots for just £38 per hour. And special discounted weekend slots available too. Call 07968 222 886. The Al Hikmah Sports Hall, the perfect place to get back in shape. It is related by Sayyidina Anas radiallahu anhu that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when a man marries, he has completed half of his religion, so let him fear Allah regarding the remaining half. The Al Hikmah Nikah service launched by the IMWS aims to introduce prospective marriage partners to help fulfill this important aspect of faith. The service is open to unmarried Muslims who are permanent residents of the UK. For more information, visit our website at www.imws.org.uk. Radio IMWS.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to Safeeyah's Hour, broadcasting live from the Al Hikmah Centre. Now, today I have Surraya with me, who's talking about health and fitness during Ramadan. If you have any questions for her, you can WhatsApp and text us on 07460809218 or ring the studio hotline on 01924 505 629. Now, Surraya, we were just talking about getting kids involved.
Yeah.
What activities do you think will be really good for kids during Ramadan?
Well, I used to, obviously, when I work with a lot of students, and I remember I used to have this one girl that used to come to my class, and we were just talking coming up to Christmas, and I remember her quite well, actually, because she was a deaf girl, and she said to me that her parents, instead of giving her an advent calendar, they actually give her a gift every day for the 30 days leading up to Christmas, and just give me an idea. So things she'd kind of get were like a phone case or something that she was interested in. This girl was 17, so she was at college. And I just thought, well, why don't we do things that are engaging for our children, get them involved. For every fast that they keep, give them something. It doesn't matter if they're too old. Give them something relevant to their age. It doesn't have to be an extravagant gift, just something small to acknowledge and just make them feel as though, you know what, I do recognize that today was hard, but well done to you, and you can do it again tomorrow. And it's just a pat on the back. We come now from in a society where children are positively reinforced. They're not allowed to be put down, and rightly so. They're not allowed to have anything negative at school. It's always positive reinforcement more than sanctions. And we at home should be doing that more and more as well. It's like when we were growing up, I don't know what it was like for you, but definitely for us, when we were like told to pray for mosque or whatever, it felt more like a chore, or it felt a bit like a burden. And I shouldn't say that. And I don't blame my parents or anything like that. It was just because of the way it was conducted sometimes.
Sometimes it'd be like, if you're Gujarati, it's like, Barabe! And you're like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was it. And tensions would rise if you got it wrong. And even at mosque, my Molana would shout at me if I got it wrong. And and I didn't speak a lot of Gujarati growing up, or I wasn't very good with that side of my life. And I was just like, when it came to kitabs and stuff, I always just get shouted at. I was like, well, if you gave me in English, I'd probably do that better. And we used to get into altercations in that way. But actually, instead of making it a chore, which is when I was leaving mosque, and I just thought, I wish someone would make it seem less like a punishment and more like a reward, and say, you know what, let's spend some time together. Let's do this. Make it seem like it's a good, fun thing to do.
I've got little brothers and sisters in madrasa now.
Yeah.
I think they're on holidays now.
Yeah.
They've had their jalsas. But when they talk about madrasa, it's so fun.
Yeah.
But when I think back at madrasa, it was like, you just look to the next person and ask, and that's it. You've got to stand up for the rest of the day. But now when you ask kids about madrasa, they're like, oh, we had so much fun. And when my little brother started madrasa, he was like really excited. And I was like, well, I don't remember feeling that way.
It's like my niece, she's just started going to mosque. So she's 4 years old, and she's starting the alphabet. And my mum has now like learned from us and just thought, right, I'm going to make it more fun. So she'll go, sheeps go, ba, and get her to learn the letters like that. And she'll say, what's that? And she'll say, Surraya likes to go to the gym, to remember the gym. And it's like, that's the way it should be, fun, make it fun, make it as though it's not.
They get to do like colouring now, and they have playtime as well.
Yeah. So I think the mosques are now latching onto it, but we at home still need to adjust. And I think the younger generation, as they come up, they will, but definitely have that mindset of positive reinforcement. Connect with your children. And I know some of them will be stroppy teenagers and they won't want to know, but deep down they will. No matter how much you don't think you're getting through to them, you are.
Yeah, I think as well in Ramzan, not just in Ramzan, but for every day, but start it in Ramzan if you don't already do it. Go to the local kutub khanas, pick up some storybooks, and, sit with the family in a circle. And, ibadat isn't just reading praying the Quran. It's learning stories of the prophets and the Sahabas and so on. So get together with your children and read stories and make activities from those stories. So like quiz them and give them prizes and just make it fun.
Yeah, definitely. Make it engaging, make it fun, and make it something that they look forward to.
Yeah. And, just praying isn't just for your kids at madrasa. It's your responsibility as well to teach them at home. So while they're at home during Ramzan, do teach. And
I know it's going to be a difficult Ramzan, especially for mums. I don't empathise with them at all. Well, I do empathise with them. I don't. I wouldn't want to be in their position at all, should I say? It's going to be hard doing the school run. Those people at work come back to do the school run. Some mosques are still open, so they have to do a mosque run.
I've heard that some madrasas will be staying open.
So that's another journey. And all these things are taxing in Ramzan. They do require a lot of energy, but try and do as much as you can do without burning yourself out. If it means that you and your friends, mum friends, taking turns to do a school run, try and see if you can just, 1 week you do it, 1 week someone else does it, or whatever it is. Just try and ease some of your load as well. Don't think you have to go all out as a parent. I think we were talking like making all the activities and stuff. It can be daunting for a parent thinking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And when it comes to it, it's like, I barely get the cooking done.
And don't forget the me time, mums. Time for you to just relax and unwind as well. Whether it be sitting back and reading a book or just closing your eyes for half an hour. Just don't forget your me time.
or even just sitting in the garden or going for a little walk, getting some
Yeah.
fresh air. What a difference fresh air makes. It does.
Yeah. I love walking.
Yeah.
And especially when you're stressed out.
Yeah.
Being a parent can get stressful sometimes.
Mhm.
And
Even
just
a nice
going for a walk.
conversation with someone. There's so many things that you can do to alleviate some stress and a bit of pressure.
Yeah, definitely. I have this question. It's not to do with Ramzan,
Okay.
but we had the Anissa Fun Day, and I was talking to a few people about the GCSE exams
Okay.
in biology
Yeah.
for people who are doing AQA science biology
Oh,
exam. There was all over on the news in articles this buzz about they asked a ridiculous question and kids didn't get to revise that topic. Now, could you tell me a bit more about that, please?
It wasn't actually actually anything to do with the kids having to revise that topic. That question was based on data. And I think a lot of people had a bit of an issue with the question being based around drunk rats or alcoholic 15-year-olds. But aside from that, they were just asked to interpret the data. So they always ask you a context, or they try to ask you a context, which is going to throw you a little bit. So don't get lost in what the context is. Look at what the question's asking.
Yeah.
And the question is was asking something pretty relevant to your GCSE biology. And the data that was presented about the rats and the 15-year-olds, that was real data. It was taken from a real study. And there are studies that morally or ethically we might not agree with, like 15-year-olds and alcohol or whatever it is. That's a different story. But in terms of the GCSE, it was perfectly acceptable and it was relevant. I think everyone else had a massive issue about the independent companies. That independent companies question is in the How Science Works part of science. It is still in the curriculum. So they didn't ask a business studies question. It was there. It was How Science Works. And that's it though now. Science needs to be about applying it. You don't just need to know the knowledge. You need to know where it fits into your real life. Science is a beautiful thing. You apply it to everyday life. As these children get older, they're going to have to know their science in order to make political decisions, in order to make health decisions, in order everything. They're going to need to know that science. Even when it comes to medication, they'll know what trials their drugs have been through and they'll be able to choose wisely. So I know there was a massive Twitter.
Yeah, and I read some comments. Parents were saying, at AQA, you're just encouraging our children to go off and drink at such a young age.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what the question was. It didn't actually show the question on the articles I was reading.
No, it wasn't. I think it was blown a bit too much out of proportion, but it was all relevant and it was actually quite a nice paper. The 6 marker in there was beautiful. I mean, it's not on syllabus. It was about the major components in your diet and how your body uses them. You can't go wrong with that question for 6 marks. You know, it's just, I think people it was their first GCSE. It was.
Would you say it was a trick question?
No, I think that's the whole nature of science, though, isn't it? You have to, in every exam, though, you've got to be able to be confident enough to know your subject knowledge to apply it in any context, and that's what they did. And we shouldn't really have.
I remember my science biology was so easy, but dozy me went and revised the wrong thing. I revised about how the brain works, and the next day I went to my GCSE biology exam and it was about plants. I was like, oh no, what have I done? But what do you think about the exams? Are they really getting harder?
I think that's a matter of opinion. When I did my GCSEs, I did triple science and the same content was more or less in there. I mean, the syllabus changes every 4 years or whatever it is, and 5 years even. And they take little bits out. They put them back in the next time. They take the things out. But overall, they're more or less the same. They're not as... I don't know, a few years ago, they had multiple choice questions in them. And they were I think they can trick you.
I didn't like them because
Yeah.
I'd pick and then I'd go back and I'd be like, wait,
Well, this
no,
fits and
could
that
it be
fits.
this
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
And then I didn't do so well on my
Yeah.
multiple choice questions because I kept changing them. And my teacher did say to me, when you first pick your answer, don't go and change them all because you might have been right the first time.
Yeah.
That was her
Mm.
view on these multiple choice, but I did not like them.
You see, for me, I always advise students, once you finish the paper, don't just sit back and think you've done. Read the whole
through.
paper again. So read the question again and then answer it again without looking at your answer. And then think about the answer you just thought of and compare it to what you've written.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, when there's a difference, you've read the question wrong the first time. And I know from personal experience, when I did my own exams, I used that same strategy and I changed about 4 or 5 questions in my exam, answers in my exam even, because I'd read them wrong the first time because I was so panicked and I was so scared I wasn't going to finish the paper.
Yeah, because it's when they say go, you open it and you're just like,
You've got
and then you
adrenaline,
just, and then you'll finish and you'll have like half an hour left and you'll be like, wait, that can't be right. I must have done rubbish.
Yeah.
So you go back and
But this time, well, next week, that's it now. The kids are going to have GCSEs going on. They'll have 2 weeks of Ramzan at the end, I think, but they'll have 2 weeks of exams and there's a lot of them. They've got a whole week of exams next week.
Any tips for students who are fasting and taking exams?
Again, what we said about nutrition, parents, just make sure that they are eating and they're eating the right foods. Keep their energy levels up throughout the day. Make sure they're drinking plenty at night as well. For not just for students, but for everyone, try and get effervescence tablets, the multivitamins. Make sure they have something like that as well, just to replenish what your body's lost. Not just that, get them to think about getting adequate rest, because I think a lot of students are going to think, well, I don't have time to sleep either.
They pull an all-nighter and then in the morning the mind's just blank because they haven't had any rest.
They can alter their routine a bit where they're thinking, you know what, I'm more alert at night. That's fine. They can stay up between that short period, have a nap, then go to school, and then come back after their exam, have a nap, and then wake up just before iftari and start studying again. That's the best option, I'd say. But I would tell them just to set out a routine, set out a plan. If it doesn't work, just go back to the drawing board. Just keep trying what's going to work. Every child is different. Some people learn best in the morning. Some people learn best at night. What I would say is do not panic before the exam. Like I always see students that start cramming 2 hours before the exam. Don't do that. If you've revised, you should know it. Go through a past paper, do something like that, but don't start thinking, I can't remember anything about that. I can't remember anything about that. That's when the panic starts setting in, and it's not good, is it?
No.
Just relax.
I actually had my first panic attack in a GCSE exam, and for all my other subjects, I was like, I'd revise, and then before going into the exam hall, I'd close all my books, and I'd just be like, right, that's it, and I'm not going to keep reading through wherever. And then I'd be okay. But then I got moved last minute onto a higher exam for English literature. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's my first higher exam paper. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I was panicking. And then before I even sat down to take the exam, I just collapsed.
Really?
Yeah, collapsed. And everything was fuzzy. And, everyone's sounds were just fading out. And I had no idea what was going on. And that's because I panicked.
Yeah.
But alhamdulillah, I did quite well in my exam.
Oh, God.
They moved me into a separate room.
Yeah.
It was noisy in there because people were like shouting answers out and things like that, or talking. They were like, for naughty kids. They put me there. And but alhamdulillah, I did pretty well. Good, but just don't panic because you don't want to pass out. Or faint.
And parents just try not to. I know our parents don't generally rely on the kids too much nowadays anyway, but try not to overburden your children. Like tell them, do this, do that, do this. Just let them focus on, it's only a small sacrifice, but it will pay off in the long run for them. So it's really important that parents support their children as well,
Yeah.
and just let them study the best way they do, but definitely get past papers and go over them.
Yeah. Well, we've had a 2-in-1 there about GCSE exams and Ramzan. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Surraya, for coming onto the show. Really
thank
appreciate it. And for all you listening at home, Ramzan Mubarak.
Yeah.
Starting on Tuesday, isn't it?
Inshallah, yeah.
So yeah. I will be back not next week, but the week after. And I have no idea where Mariam has disappeared to, but she might be back, she might not be. But do tune in then. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Broadcasting from the Al Hikmah Centre in Batley, West Yorkshire, you're listening to Radio IMWS. Are you running a business from home and need to move into an office, a place where you can confidently meet your clients, or maybe looking to relocate? The Al Hikmah Centre provides office space in a safe, secure and scenic location. With easy access, convenient location, free car parking and free Wi-Fi, hiring an office at the Al Hikmah Centre can allow your business to grow. For more details and special offers, call 01924 500 555 or email info@imws.org.uk. Get physical with great rates at the Al Hikmah Sports Hall in Batley. You can book a weekday daytime slot for just £18 per hour.